Here we are with my old friend and colleague Steve Flink in an unbelievable day, because who could have expected Novak Djokovic losing to Sam Querrey and, destroying his chances to realize to win the Grand Slam, to make the Grand Slam?
Nobody would have believed it, Ubaldo. Think about the last time he didn't reach at least the quarterfinals of a major was back in '09 at Roland Garros. That long. He'd have made every final in the last 6, and he'd won 5 of those, and he'd won 4 straight. So who could believe third round Sam Querrey, a player who's only beaten him once before? I couldn't, but I think there was something wrong with Djokovic. I do believe he was injured. He wouldn't talk about it, as you know, in the press conference, but it was clear that he couldn't hit his backhand at full force, and he was not serving comfortably, and I believe that he really did have a problem with his shoulder.
Yes, I don't know. I think also he could have some problems with the eyes.
Yes,
because he hit many times with the frame, and normally he doesn't.
Right.
And then you remember when he lost to, he had to retire versus Feliciano Lopez in Dubai, because he said it was a conjunctivitis. I don't know if you call it like that in English.
Yes, that's right. I remember that. And he did look last night, Ubaldo.
Yeah.
In the first part of this match against Querrey, he looked at one stage as if his eyes were stinging him. He looked very uncomfortable.
Yeah, and so and then I remember when the ATP finals in London a few years ago, he said he had 3 contact lenses on the same eye by distraction. But I think since Novak Djokovic, quite often in the past, he had some, let's say, problems which were connected to nerves. Nerves that could be also the optical nerve.
Yes.
And I had the impression that something is wrong, and he didn't want to reveal it. He wanted to.
No, he didn't.
He was, very graceful with Querrey. He wanted him to, that he said that Querrey deserved to win and all these kind of things. But
he didn't say it convincingly.
No, correct.
And it was polite, but you didn't feel like he meant it. And I don't say that as a criticism. I say it just as a fact, but you could tell how disappointed he was in what occurred.
Sure, he didn't want to look as a bad loser. No?
Right.
And so anyway, but this defeat opens up the tournament incredibly, because now in the same quarter of Querrey there is Raonic, who's still playing right now, but he's winning versus Sok, and is probably the favorite of that quarter. And then immediately down in the other quarter, in the above the upper part of the draw, we have Federer, Cilic, and Nishikori. I mean, they all now think that they may have a chance, more than until a few hours ago.
There's no doubt about it, and that's going to be fascinating. I expect, I don't know how you feel, I do think Raonic will get through to the semis, and I'm not sure who to expect in the other section. Federer will get to the quarter, I believe, to play, and he'd play the winner of Cilic Nishikori, and that one to me is kind of a toss-up. I'd give Federer just a very slight edge to beat either one of them, because they're both capable, as we know. Sure. Nishikori's beaten him, and a couple of years ago at the U.S. Open, Cilic destroyed Federer in the semis.
Yeah, and then Steve, we know that Federer has been saying all these days the favorites are others.
Right.
It's not me.
Right.
But now things are changing a bit. I mean, of course, Andy Murray at this moment is probably by far the number 1 favorite. But
he is.
In the high part, in the top half, everything can happen.
Well, it does, and it doesn't allow Federer to feel like as much of an underdog as he did. Yeah. How that works, whether it works for or against him, I don't know. But I do think he's fully aware that the match against Cilic or Nishikori would be very dangerous, as would a potential semi against Milos Raonic.
Yeah. And then, Steve, even in the latest tournament, we had Kvitova losing. I mean, it's not such a big news like Djokovic's defeat, but Kvitova has won this tournament twice.
Yeah, she has. She's a great left-hander. I wish she believed more in herself. I wish she demanded more of herself, because I think she should win more majors, but it might not happen because she's a very unpredictable player. It's hard to know what her form is going to be like tournament to tournament, year to year.
Well, yes, it has been a good day for the Americans. I mean, you should say it since you are. I mean, at least I leave you. I mean, I will talk about the Roberta Vinci, the only Italian survivor, tomorrow, even if she has to play to Van den Weghe, and I'm almost sure that. I mean, Van den Weghe, in my opinion, is the favorite, even if Vinci is number 7 in the world.
Right, I agree.
Yeah, but okay. So today you had a very convincing win by Madison Keys.
Yes.
Over Cornet.
Well, she dropped the second set, but then came back strong in the third. That was a nice win for her. Absolutely.
Yeah.
She's an outside threat to win the tournament. I don't know whether she's quite ready, but she's definitely a viable threat.
And then, of course, we mentioned Querrey. We have to say that Johnson beat Dimitrov.
Yes,
who had
good win. Good
Simon.
win.
And Johnson will play Federer.
And do you think Federer minds that one bit?
No, I think Federer is happy to play Johnson.
He's happy. It's a straightforward match. I think Johnson will work him hard in every set, but I just don't think he's going to break his serve very often.
Yeah.
So I think Federer may be in 3 tight sets.
Yeah, we will see. We will see. Anyway, it's an interesting situation now in both because Serena Williams has been strongly favorite in this tournament in the past, but this year not so much.
And she didn't look very good in her last match against McHale. She played just well enough to win, but she was down 2-love, 40-15 in the final set.
So anyway, we have a middle Sunday tomorrow. We have
do.
to play even tomorrow, but today it was Saturday, and I didn't want to lose, as usual, the competition about elegance with Steve Flink. So that's why I wore this red tie and the blue jacket, so that at least once I am even match.
Oh no, I will concede defeat on this particular occasion. Narrowly, I might lose 7-5 in the 5th, but I lost.
All right, well, we'll see. Thanks, Steve, for being with us, and of course, bye-bye from Wimbledon, and see you tomorrow.